I love my Mac apps and I'm always looking for a new app to make my life easier. Trust me, I've spent a small fortune looking for these apps. Now, I've come up with a list of 7 apps that have helped me become more productive or has helped me use my Mac a little bit easier. So let's uncover them right now. Hello everyone, my name's Mike and here at Tech Moon we uncover tech at home and in video. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. Just to let you guys know, I will be doing a separate video specifically for utilities on the Mac. So drop me a like on that video if you want to check that out. And also let me know which apps I should check out for my Mac as well. I'm always looking for an excuse to check new Mac apps out. Anyway, everyone, let's jump into my MacBook and let's go through some of these apps. The first application I want to show you is actually 2 because they both do the same thing. However, one's available in the Mac store and costs $1.99, I believe, and the other one is free, which is Rectangle. Now, Rectangle does exactly the same thing. You just have to go to the website. I will leave links in the description down below for all of these applications, but this one is free and open source. Just download it, install it, and it does exactly the same thing as Magnet. Why would you go for Rectangle over Magnet or the other way around? To be honest, just go for Rectangle because it's free. You're not going to lose anything and it pretty much has every feature that Magnet has. Magnet's just been around for a lot longer. Now let me explain why these 2 applications are really important and more powerful than what Mac OS provides. Now, as you can see, I've got 3 Safari windows open. Now, the typical way that you would split these up is, you would drag one over to one side and then the other to the other side, but it doesn't really resize them exactly. What you can also do is hover your mouse over the green button and then you can tile it to the left side and then you can click on one of these and tile it to the right side. However, the issue is that if I wanted a 3rd window open up here, I can't. Again, if you have a look, if I exit out of this one, so let me go up there, tile this to left window. Well, now I can't do anything with this window. If I tap on it, it turns it into full screen. I can't do anything with that. I have to exit. Even if I go in and see, look, it's even a little bit temperamental. Tile it to left. If I tap on this side, all that it does is exit out of this tiled position. So what Magnet and Rectangle does is it makes it so much simpler. And now what I can do is I can tile this one to the left side, I can tile this one to the right side, and perfect, it does exactly the same thing as what Mac OS, but it's even more powerful because if I drag this to the bottom now, and then drag this to this side, and then drag this to that side, even though it's not quite perfect, I now can have 3 applications side by side. Also, if I take this out, it returns to its full position and I can still click over here and it's not moving these 2 whatsoever. I can also, for example, have this on the top and let's say this one here, I can have right on the bottom. So now I can have it split in this way. It is just so powerful. I can adjust these however I like and it just depends on where I place it in the window. So as you can see, I can have it in this corner. If I put it in with this corner, I can have it like that, and then I can place this corner like so, and then I can have another space free over here for another application or another Safari window, and I still have access to all 3 of the other Safari windows or any other application. So it's super powerful. I don't know why Mac OS doesn't include this, but yeah, definitely download it. It is so clever. I absolutely love this application. It's the one that I probably use the most. The second application that I really like is Amphetamine. Now what this does is it basically overrides your sleep routines that you have for your MacBook. So for whatever reason, you may want the window to stay open for, let's say, more than 5 minutes, but you don't want to go into these settings and then change it, have it open for, let's say, an hour, and then have to change it back to 5 minutes on battery power, let's say, every single time. What this app does is it just sets a temporary pause on that sleep and you can set it for whatever time you like. So let me show you how it works. So right on the top over here, you got this sort of pill, and all that you do is just click on it and then you can start the session indefinitely for, any minutes or any amount of hours. You can have it open while a app is running, for example. I mean, there's so many different options, and it's great because all that you do, let's say we set it for 5 minutes, it's now gonna keep that screen on for a time of 5 minutes and then go back to its previous setting that is on your time saver or screen saver. So it's absolutely powerful because with one click, I can just literally end the session and then it goes back to its normal, or again, go up to the top of the screen, set it for, let's say, an hour. It will keep the screen on for an hour without putting it into sleep mode. And then if I wanted to, I can end the session manually, or I can choose to leave it running for an hour and then it will default back to its previous state, which is brilliant. The third application I want to talk to you about is a very good productivity application because you can set timers so easily. It's something that I use all the time. So let me show you how this application works. So again, just on the top, you've got this little icon over here. All that you do is just drag this icon down and you can set a timer for however long. So for example, let's say I wanted to work on a project for an hour. All that I do is set the timer. I can say project, for example, and now I've set the timer for 1 hour and it will count down the minutes until I need to stop. Now I can also set several other timers along this. So let's say I've got another thing that I want to remind myself in an hour and 45 minutes so that I need to, let's say, make a phone call. So I can set that and say, you know, make phone call or something like that. Now I've got two timers. Oh, I spelled phone call wrong anyway. And now I've got two timers, one for an hour and 45 minutes and one for an hour. I can choose to get rid of it. Now, if we go into the settings just over here, we can delete all the reminders, obviously, or we can go into preferences. And we've got a few other things. So the way that I have it set up is I have it open at login. You can also sync all your reminders that you set or timers that you set with Gestimer on Apple Reminders. So it's going to be in your app as well. And you can either choose to show or hide the countdown in the menu bar. I like to show it just because at the top over here, I can see how long I've got left to work or how long left for the next reminder or anything like that. The next application I want to show you is called Wii Transfer. Now, if you've never heard of Wii Transfer, it essentially gives you a simple way of transferring larger files that you can't really do via email. Now, what I really like is that they have an application with Macintosh. So up here, as you can see, we've got Wii. All that we do is we press on Wii, we press upload files, and in this case, let's upload this picture. It's now going to upload it. And then what we can do is we can copy the link and then we can email that link to whoever we want, and then they can just download it. Now, obviously this is quite a small file. You can easily email this yourself. But if you've got very large files, this becomes really useful because, as we all know, there's a limit to the file sizes that we can send via email or via chat or anything like that. Well, with this, there's almost no limit, you know, except for obviously, you know, 2 gigabytes or I believe 20 gigabytes that's set via WeChat, which is a lot larger than pretty much anything else out there. So with this application, you can send large video files. So let's say, you know, you've got a client that you want to send a video clip to for their social media or anything like that. What you can do is you can use WeChat and you can send various files, and that link is valid for up to 7 days. And all that you do is just download it from the Mac store and you've got this really useful feature. So the next application that I really want to show you is Alfred 4. Now what this is Spotlight on steroids, and I'll explain what that means. So if you've never used Spotlight, it's very simple. Just press Command and space, and within this bar you're able to search whatever you like. So the previous application we searched for was Magnet, so we can open up Magnet. As you can see, we've got loads of other stuff here as well, and it gives you definitions and you can type in calculations as well. So if we did, I know, 1 + 1, there you go, equals 2. It's, you know, it's pretty good. But the issue is when you're trying to search the web, so when it comes to things like searching for locations or searching the web in general, this can't really do any of that. So I'll show you what I mean. So if I press, you know, Google, well, there you go. So it's got Google Chrome, which is great. But if I say Google Trees, for example, it's brought up some rubbish over here which I don't really need. Well, with Alfred, if I press Option and space, it does everything like before. So if I want to do a calculation, for example, there you go, 1 + 1 = 2. It also does things like translation. So for example, if I try and translate I know a word, so translate muy bien, it doesn't understand that. It just doesn't know what to do. But with Alfred, if I did the same thing, so if I press translate muy bien, no, or whatever, I'm not Spanish by the way, but it's just a way to kind of show you what this does. There you go, it's translated that for me. If we quit that, and again, if I show you another thing as well using Alfred, so if I pressed, I don't know, Google trees, now we should get a much better search for trees, for example. So it's not brought me to the news or whatever it did before, it just brought me straight to there. And if I'm trying to Google something very quickly, like new Apple Macs or just trying to find out stuff, Alfred is just so much more powerful. And with Alfred, it does everything that you need. So, you know, if we want to define a certain word, again, we can do it on there. But what I really like about Alfred is that it just allows me to do very quick searches that Spotlight can't. So it's definitely worth downloading, and it's got so much more stuff in it. Google Alfred 4 and there will be many more videos that can go into a much deeper dive with this application. And you can also have a paid version which unlocks many more things, and it just becomes a productivity king compared to Spotlight search for the Mac. The next productivity app which I really like is called It's WhyCal, and it's basically, as it says here, a tiny menu bar calendar, and it's free of charge. Now there's a more popular one which is called Calendar 366. This is like $15 or something like that, which it's great, don't get me wrong, but I just think it's a little bit overpriced for something that It's WhyCal does about 90% of what this application does, and it's completely free of charge. So what this application does is within the menu bar itself, you've got access to all your calendar dates. So as you can see just over here, we can see our up and coming events that we've got. We can also add a new event. We've got all the settings and stuff like this. As you can see, it's also got dark mode with it and all the customization for the system clock as well as a replacement, which is exactly what I've done. So if I scroll over to here, as you can see, this bit here just looks like a normal calendar and clock, but it's not. What this is actually It's WhyCal, and it says everything that I need to know. So if you have a look, it says on Monday it's a bank holiday, I'm working on the Sunday as well, and it just tells me everything I need to know. We can also add a new event as well, and we can add it to any Google Calendar or Apple Calendar that we've got or anything like that, and it all just syncs up. So it's really simple, and I can add whatever I want in this calendar. So for example, on Friday the 12th or on Wednesday the 12th, sorry, of August, I can see what I've got going on. All these little dots tell me what I have for that day, and we can go into the settings and we can choose anything in the preferences. So within the preferences, as you can see, we can select the first day of the week. We can also, I've blurred it out, but we can add the calendars that we want and which calendar apps that it will sync to. So all of mine are pretty much are just Gmail, and at the bottom over here we can show events lists from 1 day or no events to up to 14 days in advance. We can see everything that we've got going on over the next 14 days, which is brilliant. I have it always obviously open at launch, and we can change the appearance. So if you have a look over here, this is how I've set mine up over here, and all that I do is I just get rid of the calendar and date with Apple Mac, so it's not showing, so I've not got sort of 2 dates and 2 times over here. This replaces both of it and it works absolutely fine, doesn't glitch out. This is the way I've set my calendar and time with the menu bar, and I've hidden the icon as well. So if I uncheck it, as you can see, it brings this one up over here. I just hide it so it just looks a bit more flush and clean. And in terms of the theme, I have it set to the system so that if I have it on light, it turns it to light. If I have it on dark, it sets it to dark. So it's really good, and again, everything here is set to how I want it. So download it, really powerful. Rather than just having the time over here and the date, it just gives that extra dimension to your productivity so that you can just quickly see what things you've got going on that day or that week or for the next 14 days or 30 days or whatever it may be. So it's WhyCal. Again, there'll be a link in the description down below. This is free of charge. Download it. It's, in my opinion, a little bit better just because of its price, obviously free. I think that $15 is great for this type of application, but I think for 90% of you guys, this is going to do the job and you'll be able to see everything that you need. So just click the download and then install it and you're good to go. The final application that I would recommend if you've got a MacBook with the touch bar, doesn't matter if it's the new one with the escape key or without, this application will make your life so much easier. So as you can see, I've got the normal touch bar just over here and it's fine, and in certain applications it's really useful, but for everyday tasks, I mean, it doesn't really do much. So this is where POC comes in. So with POC, if we just scroll down, we've got a whole bunch of widgets. So we've got dock widgets, we've got media widgets, we've got even an escape key widget. So for those without the physical escape key, you can now have one permanently in that corner. We've also got status widgets as well, so we can have things that display, let's say, the Wi-Fi, the time, and the date as well, and the battery status. And we've also got the control center widgets as well. If I just double tap control, as you can see, it's now switched to my preferred touch bar. Now, as you can see, the way that I've got it laid out is I've got my dock applications just over here. So these are my most used applications. We've also got obviously the downloads folder, the bin just over here. We've also got a toggle for do not disturb mode. We've also got the brightness, the volume and the mute, and then we've also set the status as well. So for me, I don't really care about the Wi-Fi, it's always connected at some point anyway, but for me it's more about battery life and the date and time as well. So no matter what application I'm in full screen, for example, I can still see what's going on. Something that Apple, if you have a look, if I just double tap to the old one, doesn't include over here. So as you can see, this is far better, and I've got quick access as well. So if I go into calculator, for example, it opens up the calculator application, and all the other applications that you see over here, I've got quick access to. We can also set the preference. So if we open this up, we've got the POC preferences. So if we open that up, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. So we can hide the control strip permanently, which is something that I do. I just overwrite it. But if you want to keep the Mac control strip, not a problem. Obviously, I always have it launched at login. We've got dock widgets as well. These are all the preferences that I've set. Again, status widgets, control center widgets, and then the now playing widget if you have it enabled. Obviously for me, I haven't, but this is basically so much more powerful than what Apple allows you to do with the touch bar. And Apple, take note, because if you have this level of customization, I mean, it just looks fantastic, especially this bit, because I've had a few comments about people going, what's that you've got on the touch bar? Well, this is it. This is POC. So download it, it's free of charge, and it just adds a very minimalist but more functional use to the touch bar, whether you have it with the escape key or not. This is something that you should try out, download, it's free for sure if you've got the touch bar. So a great app for the final one on the list. So those are all the apps that I pretty much download onto almost every Mac I ever get my hands on, because I just think they're all great, and I will be leaving links in the description below so that you can try these apps out yourself. But there we have it, my favorite apps that I think all of you should try out. Anyway, if you haven't already, then please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TechCarMoon. Drop me a like on this video and hit that subscribe button. Also, check out these fantastic videos that I handcrafted myself if you want to see more of this face. Anyway, everyone, look after yourselves and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.